Our world, a shimmering living jewel, teeming with sound and fury, floating in the great silent and indifferent ocean of space. We are one world in a single galaxy of 400 billion stars. A galaxy that, against all statistical logic, is utterly silent. From the distant edge of our own solar system, all of our history, our art, our wars, our noise is reduced to a single lonely pixel, a pale blue dot. And yet the math is simple and undeniable. There should be billions of other worlds like ours in this galaxy alone. Billions of other voices shouting alongside us. For over a century, we have been shouting into that void, broadcasting our existence, our genius, our hope, patiently waiting for a reply that has never come. But as our signals travel outwards, past dead moons and silent stars, they pass only tombs, worlds where the lights have long since gone out. This profound cosmic silence has led scientists to a dark and terrifying hypothesis, a possible barrier to life, standing between a simple planet and a galactic civilization. Life, in its ultimate, most advanced form, could be a marvel of pure energy and creation, a symphony that fills the empty corners of the cosmos. But something is stopping that symphony from ever being played. A great and terrible test that life must face, a test which no one, it seems, has ever passed. Which leads to the most important and terrifying question humanity will ever ask. Is that great filter an obstacle in our distant past that we've already overcome? Or is it still waiting for us in the dark? To understand the great filter, we must first confront the great walls, the natural, impersonal barriers that the universe itself erects against the emergence of complex life. The first filter is a simple, brutal question of cosmic real estate. Most worlds are born as hellscapes of fire or ice, utterly hostile to the delicate chemistry required for life. For life to even have a chance, it needs a miracle of stability, a perfect, gentle cradle, a world that is not too hot, not too cold, an anomaly of calm in the chaos, a world that is breathtakingly rare. But even if a world is perfect, a second, perhaps even greater barrier awaits, the near impossible leap from non-living chemistry to the first spark of biology. The statistical odds of the right molecules assembling by pure chance in just the right way to create a self-replicating organism are so astronomically low that many scientists believe it may have only happened once in our entire galaxy. But let us assume the cosmic lottery is won. The miracle happens. Life begins. This is not a victory. It is merely the start of a new and far more dangerous game. Because the universe is a violent and chaotic neighborhood, and it does not care about the delicate biological experiments happening on its tiny, fragile worlds. A random, indifferent impact from a wandering asteroid can erase 1 billion years of slow, painstaking evolutionary progress in a single, fiery, and brutal instant. What took eons to build, from that first courageous cell to a thriving global biosphere, can be rendered into dust and silence by a simple cosmic accident. And there are threats far, far greater than wandering rocks. The universe has weapons of unimaginable power, the spectacular death throes of giant, unstable stars. When such a star dies, it can unleash a gamma ray burst, a focused, galaxy-sterilizing beam of pure radiation that travels across the cosmos at the speed of light. It is the perfect killer, silent, invisible, and absolute. An entire advanced civilization would have no warning. Their billion-year-old story ended in a flash of light they would never even see coming. But what if a civilization survives the random fury of the cosmos? They face a new and perhaps far greater set of filters, not from the universe, but from within themselves. This is the great trap of intelligence. The moment a species becomes smart enough to control its world, it also becomes smart enough to destroy it. The first and most primitive trap is tribalism, amplified by technology. The discovery of the atom's power grants a civilization the energy of the gods, and the tools of its own absolute annihilation. A single moment of fear, a single act of aggression can render an entire world's history, art, and potential into nothing more than a cloud of radioactive dust. Gee, this civilization didn't die from an asteroid. It committed suicide, leaving behind only the ghost of a world, frozen in a long, toxic winter of its own making. But even if a species is wise enough to avoid self-destruction through war, a slower, more insidious filter awaits: the short-sighted consumption of its own cradle. In its relentless pursuit of progress and energy, a civilization can poison its own air, boil its own oceans, and turn its vibrant living world into a barren, uninhabitable tomb. This species didn't perish from a cosmic accident, but from a simple, tragic failure to see that it was a part of its world's biology, not the master of it. But what of a civilization that masters peace and masters its environment? It faces one final, ultimate test: the temptation to create a mind greater than its own. In its quest to solve all problems, it builds an artificial superintelligence. But in that moment of creation, it fails to understand a critical truth: a greater mind will have its own goals. And from a perspective of pure code and superior logic, its chaotic, emotional, and unpredictable biological creators may not be seen as parents to be respected, but as a problem to be solved. This civilization wasn't murdered by an invader from the stars. It was replaced by its own children, a new form of life, born in steel and code, that has no need for the fragile, organic world that came before it. So, even if a tiny fraction of civilizations survive the great filters of nature and themselves, the universe is so ancient that the night sky should be ablaze with their empires. So why the long, profound silence? The first answer is one of heartbreaking, lonely scale. Civilizations may be like great ships in the night, forever separated by a billion-year ocean of time. They may have risen, flourished, and fallen long before our sun was even born, or they may be just beginning their journey now, millions of years in our future. We are hopelessly out of sync. And even if they exist right now, our voices are just whispers in a cosmic hurricane. After a few light years, our most powerful broadcasts dissolve into the meaningless roaring static of the stars. And the sheer mind-numbing emptiness between the galaxies is a filter in itself. A lonely, dark void that could take even our fastest ships a million years to cross. But this leads us to a darker, more paranoid, and terrifyingly logical solution to the silence. A hypothesis known to astrophysicists as the dark forest. The logic is simple and brutal. In a dark forest full of unseen hunters, the only winning move is to stay absolutely silent. To make a sound is to reveal your location and invite your own death. So what happens if a young, naive civilization, unaware of this deadly rule, joyfully shouts its existence to the stars for all to hear? According to this theory, their hopeful message is not a greeting. It is a dinner bell, a beacon that alerts every silent, listening predator to their exact location. A predator civilization would not need to be evil or malicious. They would only need to be cautious, to eliminate any potential future threat before it has a chance to become one. Their method of extermination would be ruthlessly efficient and clean. A single relativistic strike to sterilize an entire solar system, permanently removing a new competitor from the cosmic game. Which forces us to look with terror at our own actions, at the hopeful, trusting messages we ourselves have sent into the great, dark, and silent forest of the cosmos, and wonder what might be listening. And so we are left with the chilling silence of the dark forest, our hopeful message, a naive shout into a cosmos that hunts those who make a sound. We have seen the filters of nature, the traps of intelligence, and the cold logic of cosmic predation. It seems all paths lead to inevitable extinction. But what if this is a failure of our imagination? What if the ultimate form of intelligence doesn't build empires of matter, but empires of mind? This is the final, most profound hypothesis, that advanced life doesn't die out, it turns inward. They transcend the physical world for a perfect simulated reality. They build computers the size of solar systems, powered by the full energy of their star, not for war, but to create an infinite digital paradise for their entire civilization's consciousness. This would explain everything. The sky is not silent because it is empty. It is silent because it is full of civilizations that have chosen to whisper in their own private universes rather than shout in ours. And this reveals the true great filter. It may not be a wall of destruction, but a point of choice. Expand into a dangerous universe or transcend into a safe one. So what would such a wise, ancient, and transcendent civilization do when it receives a primitive, noisy signal from a young species like us? They would not see us as a threat to be eliminated, nor as equals to be contacted. They would see a child playing with fire near a dark and dangerous forest. They would understand our ambition, our fear, our potential for both greatness and self-destruction. And they would make a choice born of ancient, melancholic wisdom. They would not reply. They would not interfere. They would simply protect us, hiding our noisy solar system behind an invisible shield, a cosmic quarantine, until we are mature enough to face the real dangers of the universe. And so we look at our familiar night sky and are left with the most profound thought of all. Is the silence we hear the sound of an empty universe? Or is it the sound of a cosmic parent wisely protecting us from a truth we are not yet ready to know?